everything I got here. I got the photos of the murder victim and the photos of Mosley. Okay? It's a picture of Mosley for the book. But the thing is that Mosley is at the crime scene.
So he's not there.
So he's not at...
So probably better off to... Well, unless you find out where the crime scene is.
Yeah, this guy is not telling anything. I asked him about the...
Can I bother you again, officer? What is it this time?
But this one doesn't have the option to make a mix of the... Right, exactly. That at least I don't remember doing it.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. But at least in the first two games, there would be at least one just incredibly stupid puzzle or something just ridiculously hard. Like Gabriel Knight 2 is having to splice together the tapes.
Right.
In this one, you have
That's
to do...
the Beast Within, right?
Yeah. In this one, you have to like write on a wall and code.
Okay. Don't give it away. Don't give the milk away. There we go. Like, don't give it away. I don't remember everything about this game, so I don't want to be giving it away. Oh. Well, we're here. I don't know why we're here, but we're here. I was trying to get to Grandma. Let me talk to this guy. Hi.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
Okay, this guy. Tell me about voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? I don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
Do you know anything about the voodoo murders?
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
Now this guy has more of a southern accent that I was expecting to see for this. Can you tell me about New Orleans?
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
Tell me about yourself, because I just walked on in and I don't know you from Adam, but you don't even know my name, but I'm going to ask you about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
That's right. Anything about the bar patrons?
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other.
In the corner?
In other words, they're in love.
Nice. Anything else about the bar patrons?
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They played every day for 20 years.
I'm surprised.
Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and stuff.
Really? Thanks.
Serena, yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't have a French accent, except he looks like the maitre d' in the Kitchen Nightmare. I was thinking that they made him look like a really old-time bartender or something like that. Okay, tell me about street musicians.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say, enough already.
Sounds like my life.
Learn a new song, please. Anything else about the bar patrons?
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too. Been
Okay,
coming
so
in
we
here
know him.
for 10 years now?
Don't remind me.
We're
Could you
still
please
waiting
write
for
a
that
book?
bestseller.
Don't hold your breath.
All right. So the bartender knows me. I didn't know him. And he's going to tell me that only a good bartender would talk to people, not...
Tell me about yourself.
A good
Okay. And also, we know there's a drummer that's sitting outside. And finally, let's talk about Sam and voodoo.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodooine and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day, he went up and talked to the girl. And, sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife. Poor guy.
Where are you right now?
I'm in the Napoleon bar. You don't remember the Napoleon bar? I remember Sam and the guys that are playing the video. They're playing the card
No.
game. These two guys have
Oh.
been playing the card game forever.
Okay.
And
I remember the drummers. and
today
then
is the
there's,
day, right?
There's definitely something about drummers.
Let us go talk.
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure. You want to know my son?
On second thought, I don't think you could help. Forget it.
A young woman is enjoying drinks with her boyfriend.
Kinda cute. Nah.
A young man is deep into conversation with his girlfriend and feeling no pain.
Not yet, anyway.
Talk to
Can I ask you some questions?
Buzz off,
I'm
buddy.
trying to be with my lady here, pal.
Far be it from me to stand in the way of romance.
A man in a loud tie
They're playing
stares
chess.
morosely at a chessboard.
I was thinking a question.
A sharp-eyed gentleman in a gray sports coat hunches over a chessboard, chuckling to himself.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This isn't a game. It's a slaughter.
He's right, you know, so let me die in peace, would you?
Sorry to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
I'm not the chatty type, am I, Sam?
Okay,
No,
so
Bastard, you're not.
Marcus and
Besides, I'm
Sam.
busy sucking poor old Sam dry. Go bug someone else.
Ah, you're a real sweetheart, Marcus, you bastard.
Can you talk to the drummer outside?
I always prefer to look at
The Napoleon House is one of the French Quarter's very old, very classic neighborhood bars and restaurants. Gabriel is found here frequently. A street drummer has found a spot outside the Napoleon House. Gabriel cannot do anything with the drummer on the street.
Okay.
Fancy old liquor bottles contribute to the general decor. Several fine old oils line the walls of the bar.
I'm looking. And I don't have the read icon.
Several fine... The bar is a 19th century antique in lovingly polished walnut. It's a bust of Napoleon. How apropos.
Oh, you know what we haven't been doing? Maybe we need to do. Maybe we need to do this. We haven't been saving. So, and we haven't even saved Ampong at this point. So, okay, all right. Save. Save early, save often.
A stereo and some old jazz albums occupy the back shelf. That tabletop has an inlaid chessboard. That table. A young woman. The Napoleon House.
Okay, I think we're good for the Napoleon House for right now. And we can't talk to the drummer outside. Oh, he wanted me to talk. Okay, hold on. Let's go back in the Napoleon House because he wanted me to continue the conversation. But I've gone through all the conversation with this dude, so I don't really know if there's anything
Could I
else.
ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've done voodoo. I've done the voodoo murders. The guy doesn't want to tell about himself. The bar patrons. I've visited the street musician outside. Sam and the voodoo. And exit. All right, let's go out the door. All right, so that's our bookshop, that's the police station, that's the Napoleon House. Maybe you have to try to find Mosley at the crime scene, or...
Saint Louis Cathedral. They are...
Yes, that's the cathedral, that's the overlook. Thinking...
4 pairs of binoculars.
Okay. Pretty sure you can't do anything with any of this stuff right now. That this is coming, but we just haven't gotten to this point. Maybe we should go back to our bookstore and see if there's any messages for us.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
Okay, right, exactly. It's June, and yet I wear my coat. That's funny. Grace?
Don't mind if I do.
Do what?
Oh, nothing.
All right, let's see if Grace has any messages for us. Oh, wait a minute. There's somebody coming in the bar.
Hey, kids.
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you going to sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
They want the snake painting, right? Okay, so are you ready to drop dead today? Gee, is today the day that hell froze over?
Gee, is today the day that hell freezes over?
One needn't be rude.
Okay, he wanted to buy the painting. Okay, well, we ain't that desperate yet. That's my dad's painting. I even talked to it. I'll talk to my painting.
There's no one in that part of the shop to talk to.
Except for now.
There's no...
All right, but there is Grace. And so we're going to see if Grace has got any messages.
Got a minute,
for
Grace?
us.
What's up?
So see if we have
Could
any
you do
research
some
for
research
her.
for me?
Sure, what?
Nothing so far.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
So, any messages?
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Okay. Okay. So for right now, she doesn't have any messages, so we're just going to leave and we're going to try to get over to Grandma. Because the goal is to get to Grandma.
I'll be back later.
See ya.
Jackson Square in the overlook and the binoculars. There's the Dixieland drugstore, the historical voodoo museum. Go down to Jackson Square. Okay, hold on.
A
Look at the cop.
police officer is either off duty or patrolling the park, or both.
Okay, yeah.
Can we try to talk to the police officer?
Yeah, I think I recall now what this is going to be fun.
Okay.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Not now, buddy. I'm busy.
I should have noticed that. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
I think you figure out
The
where
other
where
park
Mosley is.
visitors are enjoying their leisure
Something
and
dealing
aren't
with the cop, but
interested.
There's also some
Ambulance to now.
the radio's going, but you have to distract the cops.
How do I distract?
The other park, the band is too into their music to talk
Don't
to
make it this way.
Gabriel.
What am I, a groupie?
Coroner requests assistance at now.
Gabriel likes his own cycle much better. Besides, even Mosley couldn't get him out of that one. Nah, he's not Gabriel's type.
What am I, a group?
Coroner requests.
The other park,
Is it something I have in my inventory?
the motorcycle cop wouldn't have anything enlightening to say about Jackson Square. Jackson. Gabriel likes his own cycle much.
No, that's excellent.
Homicide team attend.
That's a rather rude way to treat the other park visitors.
Hey, I'm trying to distract the cop. Would you like a coupon? Because I got a coupon I can give you. Hey, you seem like a reader. Have a coupon.
Anyone seen Joe?
The motorcycle cop wouldn't have anything enlightening to say about that.
What do I need to do to distract the motorcycle cop? He doesn't want to talk to me. I can't touch him.
There's no one to talk to. There's no one to... The other... Move the cop's motorcycle. Gabriel would prefer not to be arrested right now.
You think?
Move the cop.
Anyone seen Joe?
You know what? I want to,
Nah.
Alright, it's nothing you can touch. You can't talk to the cop. What could you do to distract the cop? Okay, let us go and walk around Jackson Square. So we know we've got to hear where the crime scene is. And so, let us...
Homicide team attend.
A white...
Chad, could you please respond? She wants to know if you want her to be here at 3 or leave around 3.
Coroner requests assistance at now.
She sent it to me. Okay. All right.
Coroner requests assistance at now.
So if you exit, can you get to the other part of the park? Okay, yeah, you can. All right, let's see. Oh. Wile E. Coyote.
A lone drummer beats out a haunting rhythm on a large African drum. The drummer is busy. The other park, the statue does. A bronze statue of Andrew Jackson marks the center of Jackson Square. Jackson Square is a good place to rest while exploring the French Quarter, and a great place to be entertained by local performers. That's a rather rude. That wouldn't be particularly illuminating.
All right, let's go look on this other side of Jackson Square. Have you tried to remove your pants and run around? It wouldn't be particularly... That's rude, Serena. It wouldn't be particularly interesting. Okay, we got a bunch of people over here. Let's look over here. Maybe it's something over here.
Jackson Square is a good place. A Cajun band, inventive as always with their instruments, is having a good old time on the lawn.
Is it something to do with the
how catchy
mime?
that toe tapping can be.
I vaguely
Stop picking on
remember.
me. I'll tell my dad.
It's one of those mimes. Oh boy.
Oh, this guy's a pain in the ass.
Why, you nasty thing, you.
Well,
I'll
that
call
would be
the
a
police,
distraction,
I
Serena.
will.
However, it won't work in this game. But this
He
guy
seems
will.
to have a mind of his own. Gabriel probably could pick up the mime. The question is, would he want to?
This guy's gonna get hit. Hold
You
on.
white-faced geek! You want to eat my fist?
That's a rather...
Okay, how do I use the mine to distract the cop?
Interrogating a mime would be an exercise in frustration.
I had a feeling that was gonna be the case.
Since Gabriel can't read lips, he's disinclined to start a conversation. Since Gabriel...
Well, Gabriel, he's drawn what the mine weighs, 120 pounds. Yeah, Gabriel could pick up the mine. But he doesn't act like he wants to.
That wouldn't work.
Okay, it has something to do with the mine.
The Cajun band wouldn't. The Cajun band...
And I can't talk to
The
anyone.
Cajun band is a little busy for that right now.
Can't talk to anybody.
The other park visitor... The Cajun band would...
Get near the mine.
It seemed that Gabriel has already done that.
I want this guy to punch the mine or
You
something
white-faced
like
geek! You want to eat my fist?
that. But he runs away. But I can't touch this
That's a
guy.
That's a rather
And I
rude...
can't.
Notice the mine was
That's
following
a
after.
rather rude way to
I
treat
did
the...
notice that the mine. Oh,
Then you stop.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Don't go near the mine.
Okay. I've got an idea. Come on, buddy. Come on. Hey, will you leave the lady alone?
Well, I never. Leave me alone, you man.
Yeah, seriously, yeah, man. Me and the mine, just hanging around.
Stay away from other people. Otherwise, you can follow after somebody else.
He did he?
Hey, stop picking on me.
That happened
I'll tell my
seconds
dad.
after you said that. Seconds.
He's
All
already
right.
done it several times.
All right. No, I haven't done it several times.
Yeah,
The mine has done it, but this first time I've ever left. Alright, we'll go and we'll get the stupid mine again. Tell me you've done it several times. Only done it one time. Okay, now we just walk all the way over here. You, bully, get out of there. Nope. Urgh. Okay, so maybe not.
You want to eat my fist?
Okay, no, because I want the shoes back. Please, put me the shoes back. Why can't I have the shoes back so I can do the mine again? Stay out of here, Mr. Fist guy. You're in the way. You want me, my fist? Stay out of the way. All right, back to dumbass. The mine is now called dumbass. Okay, Gabriel. Me and the mine heading down to the cop. Cause what could go around here? All right, clear shot. Go, go, go. Cop, straight ahead. All right, hold on. Walk over here. Walk over here. Walk this way. All right, come see the cop. Okay.
Hey, cut that out. I told you to stop that.
I'm going to cane you with a cane. Run him in.
All
Yeah,
right, mister. You want some of this?
You want some of this? All right, that's a good point. Okay, so now we can talk to the radio, listen to the radio.
Jackson Square.
Touch the bike. Touch the bike.
Gabriel.
Walk over to the bike. Operate the bike.
Gabriel picks up the headset and listens.
Ambulance 911, have you located the crime scene? They've radioed for you 3 times.
Damn! Did you say it was north of the Lake Retreat Country Club?
South. Lakeside Drive north of Piedmont Pier, south of the country club.
Man, I don't know if it's the clouds out here today or what. Good thing this guy's already dead.
Everyone's having trouble. Must have been hallucinogens in the coffee this morning.
Yeah, Dave,
It's just so misty out here or something. Hey, I see a squad car. Got it, Molly.
Thank God. Have a good one, 9-1.
Interesting.
Stupid ma'am. Hey, you! Get away from
Get
that
away from
bike.
my bike.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just standing near it. Was guarding the park. You left your post. Okay, oh no, I see there's a string hiding the full number. It's
Anyone seen Joe?
20.27 kilograms. Makes more sense. What are we talking about, Serena?
Save the game.
All right, we're saving the game. Because, you know, new save. The cop in the square. Okay. All right, so we now know, I think we now know where to go next. Or we should have something on our map, right? Maybe we have to go to the binoculars and adjust the, well, if you were not reading one message on two, maybe that would have made more sense. Oh, speaking of weight, on my potato bag is writ 5 pounds and 7 kilograms, but when I convert it, it's 15 pounds, 15-pound bag. So that's a really big bag of potatoes. Because normally I buy like a 3 to 5 pound bag of like small red potatoes. So we're a family that really doesn't care that much for potatoes very often. I like them. Week's okay with them. Chad really doesn't like potatoes. All right, let's try to operate these binoculars and see if that will help us see the crime scene. Or not. Okay, that was just helping us see that the mine was annoying. Maybe that's all that is. And maybe it's a puzzle for later. Who knows? Okay, so there is Bourbon Street, Toulouse Street, St. Louis Cathedral, the voodoo shop, the bookstore, police station. Wonder if I could, yeah, but no, it's 5 pounds. 2.27 kilograms of that thing inside of weights was such together, hiding. So it really was only a 5-pound bag of potato. Because a 15-pound bag of potatoes, we're talking, I can hardly lift my arm these days, we're talking big, right? Filled with potatoes. And even I don't eat that one. Is there another? Okay, see, I go to Grandma's house and there's the crime scene. Okay, so that was the French Quarter that we were in, and now we can go to just keep this moving along. Let's go to the crime scene.
The crime scene team is still at the site. Gabriel parks a bit out of the way and walks over to avoid adding to the general confusion.
Here we are. First thing first, we probably better walk our ass over to Mosley. And that's all just cutscene. Yeah, I wish I could eat 15 pounds of potatoes, but they are probably melts before I eat them all.
Wiener, I told you not to call me that. Feeling jumpy? Who, me? Don't be stupid. How'd you find me? Oh, I was just driving by. Well, for the book. But don't tell anyone I let you see this, huh?
Okay, so Mosley's voice is by Mark
It's
Hamill.
another one. As you can
As
see,
we all
same
know,
MO
Luke
and no
Skywalker.
frickin' clues. We're still waiting on an ID for the body.
That's disgusting. Isn't this a rather, public area for this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're frickin' ghosts, these guys. Lakeshore Drive isn't exactly the 10 expressway, but it is open to the public. No reports and nothing. Now, who the hell is that?
Oh, her, right? Hi.
Good day, Miss Getty.
What's going on, officer?
Detective Mosley, ma'am. We've got a little problem here, but nothing for you to be concerned about, Miss Getty.
I see. Thank you, Detective. And good day, gentlemen.
Hang on a second.
Whoa, I'm in love. Forget it. That's Malia Getty. She's about as far out of your reach as the moon. Probably on her way to meet some guy with a yacht right now.
Near here?
The lake's a popular place for country clubs.
If she's out here a lot, maybe she saw something or heard something.
Yeah, really.
Nobody ever sees or hears nothing. I told you. Besides, you just don't go around bothering people like her.
Okay.
We've about wrapped it up, sir. It's another clean sweep.
Yeah, let's get the meat wagon moving then.
Do you want to leave an officer here, sir?
Nah, just leave the tape up for a few days.
Yes, sir. If you'll excuse us, sir, we'll take him away.
So you don't really even get to really look at the body.
Stick around and take notes for the book if you want. Watch out for the muck in the water moccasins, though. I'll be back at the station. Stop by if you want to go over the case some more.
Thanks.
And you don't really get to talk to Mostly here. The reason I keep calling Mostly is because that's what Gabriel Knight calls him. Okay, but meanwhile, we can do some things, right? So we can get out our magnifying glass and play a little detective work. And we'll see with our tweezers, I think, that we have...
The police have already taken samples of the blood. Mosley will be able to tell Gabriel if there's anything significant about it. The police...
Okay, so let's just look.
It's extremely big, bloody sand.
Oh, not the extremely big, bloody sand. Nothing in there, nothing in the blood? Okay.
Gabriel is on the sand and clay shore of Lake Pontchartrain, at the site where some poor bastard got to see who the voodoo murderers really are. The site is now deserted.
There's also this right here.
There seems to be a pattern to the lines in the sand, but if there is a pattern, it's smeared. There's only one small area that's clearly defined.
So what if you try to touch it?
Gabriel can't take the lines with him that way.
Can I... Do I have a book that I can draw the line, what I see? I mean, I was kind of expecting that you just be able to...
There is not... Gabriel can't... Gabriel can't move the lines on the ground. Gabriel, the site. Gabriel,
those are weird-ass lines.
Site. Gabriel is... The site is... Gabriel, the site is
Maybe
now
there's a
deserted.
book or something I'm supposed to have somewhere. Like, yeah, I wish I could eat, 15 pounds. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I've had wishes, Serena, that I could eat all kinds of different foods. Like, you know, I remember if it was like man versus food or whatever it was, and this guy would just eat these ungodly amounts. You could just only imagine how many calories we're talking about here. But I know it's not good for you.
The trees on the banks of the lake are mostly oak and elm. Reflectors mark the curve along Lakeshore Drive. Gabriel is... The site is now deserted. Gabriel, the site is now... Gabriel, the site is... Gabriel, the site is... There seems to be a pattern to the lines in the sand.
Unfortunately...
But if there is a pattern, it's smeared. There's only one small area that's clearly defined.
We cannot draw out or take a picture of the patterns, and I think that clue is important, but I don't at this point know how. So I think we'll just take our foot and we'll find the exit and we'll leave the crime scene. And since we're nearby and we've talked about going to see Grandma, maybe Grandma has the book, let's just, or something, since it's not at the bookstore. So we'll go see Grandma Knight.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give us a kiss. Now come and sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
All right, well, guess what? First thing first, look around.
On the wall are portraits of Gran and Gramps when they were young. Gabriel's inherited some good-looking genes. The wood in the bin is southern pine, and is probably fossilized by now. Granny's knitting. She whips through that stuff like there was no tomorrow. Granny has a way with plants and kids. The sofa has a wan blue chintz pattern that Gabriel remembers fondly. Fresh carnations. Granny's favorite. Granny likes soft lighting. Mostly pictures of Gabriel, his dad, and Harrison Knight.
Eh?
Granny's side chair still has that annoying loose spring in the seat. Grandmother Knight rarely uses the fireplace these days. Too much of a hassle to clean. Mostly pictures of Gabriel, his dad, and Harrison Knight.
Okay, so now let's look at Grandma.
That's my gran. Adorable as always.
You're such a tease.
Okay, so it is time to talk to Grandma. Oops, went too far.
How you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime.
Alright, but to interrogate her, we need to use this one.
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
Okay, so we can ask her about voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear about it so much these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
What about voodoo murders, Grandma?
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
How about New Orleans?
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
No.
New Orleans is very southern. Of course, though, not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Oh, surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
Oh, come on, Gran.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
What do you do all day?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Grandpa, Granddad.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Okay. Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone annex, and a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for men, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
Okay, so how are you feeling these days?
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Tell me anything at all.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Tell me anything at all.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
What are we looking at? Like 5 o'clock for dinner?
Oh.
Okay.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
I think he has like a... Okay. Tell me
Just
anything
tell
at all.
me anything at all.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Tell me anything at all.
Just tell me anything at all.
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran. Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Okay, we're full circle now. Nothing.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
All right, dear.
You need to learn about the Knight family.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Let's learn about Harrison Knight.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Learn about my dad.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were 2 peas in a pod.
Tell me about Margaret Templeton Knight.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will.
Okay. And now let's compliment Grandma.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Okay, we have asked Grandma everything. So, hey all, I've been lurking it since the beginning. I wasn't able to say hello. Well, hello, my cake. Thanks for saying hello.
Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see.
Boobies! Mike Gates here. Ba-da-da-da. Have a great time. We're so glad to see ya. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Have a great day. Beep. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, Mike.
Mike Kate! Boobies!
Hey, Mike. Have you ever played any of the